Your top strengths to me are little indicators to remind you just how great a winner you are. In fact, we put about 300 leaders in our company through the strengths test. And I never forget, I sat with this leader and she said, I've done a bunch of these. So, almost approached it cynically. She said, I have never done one like this. This literally told me about everything that was right with me. Every other test told me about what was wrong with me. This is the first time a test has told me only what's right with me. Do you want to know an interesting one, Avi? When I tell people about strengths, I'll give you a cool story. When people get their strengths test, I normally tell people, do the top 5 strengths. And this is, Gallup's going to love me for it, maybe, or maybe they're going to be angry a little bit, but I recommend Gallup because they're fantastic and they have lots of studies and neuroscience and empirical data that go into their tests. Now, when people talk about tests, of course, there's a variety of there's many tests out there. I tell people, do the top 5 tests. There's also another report that gives you a top 34 strengths. Now, people say, why don't you recommend people do the top 34? I'll say, you wouldn't believe. When I give people a top 34 test, you know what the leaders do? They look at their top 3, and guess what they do next? They go right to the bottom and they say, what are my weaknesses? You just missed the point of a strengths test. The test is supposed to remind you of your strengths. That's why it's called a strengths test. It's not called a strengths and weaknesses test. You're good at all 34 things. You just might use them in different orders at different points in your life.
I think what happened to me is I have some weaknesses. And looking at the weaknesses, I could see in my team, and I say, who has a strength that is matching for my weakness?
Perfect.
So what I do with my weakness, I decide, look, there is a minimal area where if I'm too weak at something, there is a minimal rough that I need to go so I can understand what people do. But once I do, I can just ask Daniel Lee, who is much more organized, to help me with my weaknesses.
Absolutely.
And then I could contribute for my strength. So I look at weaknesses as opportunities to ask for help. And for leaders asking for help from others, give them also in my small organization, in other organization, give them an opportunity. I'll do my strength. Please help me with what I need help.
I love that. No, you said it perfectly. We were never designed, and a lot of thought leaders talk about it. We were never designed to work by ourselves and go through life alone. We were designed to work with other people. We were designed to work in tribes and squads and communities. That's the power of, you never know, take the most successful acts in the world and they always have somebody, right? Paul McCartney and John Lennon, Jobs and Wozniak. We were never designed to work alone because we always are supposed to find those people that hopefully share our beliefs, right? And that's very important. People that share our beliefs to walk this journey with.
We tease our viewers with follow. Let's give them follow. What is it?
So the term I coined was the fear of living once. And the idea behind that is to take each day as a gift, a 24-hour breath of life, where you've been given incredible, where you just kind of remind yourself who you are and start doing things that you're not going to regret. So the fear of living once was designed to say, and it's a wake-up call for me too, by the way, and now my wife holds me to that, right? Or I'm kidding, I have a very understanding, loving wife, but I hold myself to that. So it's saying, don't binge watch 6 hours of Netflix if you know there's other things to be done, if you can use your time wisely, if you can read that book, if you can spend some time with a message that feeds your soul spirit, that you can then feed other people with.
You bring people to travel in time to the end and say, when you come to the end, you will look at this day and you say, what have I done? Did I just binge Netflix and wasted my life, or did I do something? So
Absolutely.
Having follow is incentivizer for you to do things and to be grateful. Is that one of the things that
absolutely
alter your BS?
100%, 100%. You brought up something on one of our chats, and I want to allude to it again because it's a very powerful thing. But research out there from medical people in the medical field, right, and medical professionals that will talk about spending time with people that are about to pass. And all those people talk about is not about the show I wish I watched on Netflix. None of those conversations go that way. Or the show that I wish I'd watched this movie. Most of it is, I wish I'd hugged my kids. I wish I'd taken that trip with my wife. I wish I'd held them. I wish I'd told them I love them. These are the things that we're saying just before we pass. And if that's the case, do you really want to give 6 hours out of the 24 to a show that's not going to feed your body, soul, spirit? And don't forget, there's some good content out there. And of course, you want to take in some of that good content. We get that. We want to feed your body, soul, spirit with that, your soul, spirit, and emotions with that. But not all the stuff is good for us. So follow is about hitting the pause button and just doing a BS check and saying, is this worth my time? Is this worth my time today? I just spent 2 hours on this. Let me wake up right now and go do something that's actually going to feed my body, soul, and spirit, my emotions.
I want to thank you for that. And I want to ask about the third element, that words change worlds. The first time I heard it was from Professor David Cooperrider when I did
Yeah.
a positive inquiry. What is in there could help your belief system to be upgraded?
So for me, I always tell people to watch what they say. And it's as simple as that. Watch what you're saying. Try doing it for a day. Try doing it for a couple of hours and see where you're leaning. This is a great way to check your BS. And the TEDx was called Check Your BS. It's almost that first wake up call, because we say things so often we don't know is harming us in some way, shape, or form. We say things that limit what we can do in some way, shape, or form. I did it yesterday. I did one yesterday where I thought, oh, I can't do that. I'm not good at it. Now, what's really funny is a lot of the times we think we have weaknesses, right? Avi, you alluded to that a little bit, right? And yes, I know that some things, hey, there are better people out there that can do better than us, right? In certain things. And of course, we can do some things better than others in certain things. But where did we realize our weaknesses? This is a great little reminder. Was it because we said, oh my gosh, I'm just not drawn to it. I don't like that. I don't like working with numbers. Now, what happened is you've suddenly built yourself a little neural pathway, reminding yourself you're not good at numbers. Nobody told you that. You just said it. You just said it enough times that now you believe it. It's become your BS.
Somebody once said that you have to be careful about what you say to yourself because you are also listening. So that,
Yeah,
and you mentioned a beautiful, very powerful experiment that was done in IKEA. We want to share a little bit about that. I'm not sure I want you to tell everything because I want people to go and watch your brilliant TEDx. But
thanks, Avi.
can you give me an example how this thinking about watching where your mind goes helps you in your career?
Let's go back to the words, right? So the plant experiment was really about the words. What you say, starts to determine where you'll go. And the plant experiment was so powerful because people have been doing it in universities, and I think IKEA just beautifully put it out there on YouTube, and you can go to YouTube and watch it. They've codified it beautifully. Many people have spoken about it, but they codified it, and I love that. Obviously, you take two plants, one you're speaking good over, one you're speaking bad over. You give them the same amount of water, air, same conditions, but you see very different results after 30 days. The one you've spoken good over prospers and blooms and starts to bear fruit, or just looks incredibly healthy. The one you speak bad over actually dies if you tell it it's going to die. And if that can be caused to a living cell, to a living plant, imagine what you're doing for the people around you. That's number one. For the teams every day that you're supporting, for your colleagues, for the people you're leading, and for your family and for your kids. Imagine the stuff you're saying is either hurting them and limiting their potential. And why would you want to do that as a parent, right? So and it can be the smallest things. What's insanely powerful is not about the speeches we make. It's about what we're saying to ourselves every day. I'm not good at this. Who told you you're not good at it? Is it just because you tried once and you weren't so successful, so you decided you were not good at it?